You know, the world of golf has all kinds of opportunities for people in retail, in lessons, and as players. But John, you're in the toy bag world. I mean, you're a looper. You're a guy carrying the bag out on the PGA Tour. That's got to be great fun every day.
It's a blast.
Yeah.
I'm so lucky to be doing what I'm doing. It's something I kind of fell into, not something you plan on, but I tried it. I started with Kevin Sutherland from Sacramento years ago, and thought I'd do it for a year or two, and fell in love with the job, fell in love with the travel, and been doing it ever since. So 17 years now. You
know, when you say you fell into it, I mean, you almost literally did. Tell them what you were doing before you.
I was managing Tower Books downtown in Sacramento. Yeah. And
so Kevin came to you and said.
Kevin and I were out practicing one day with Don Bauckham, and this is Kevin's second year on tour, and he had a few caddies his first year, and he and I just started talking about it, and we got along well, and I knew Don really well, so thought it might be fun to try. So Kevin was great. I didn't know anything about what I was doing when I started, and Kevin was great and letting me learn on the job, and not firing me for stuff I probably should have been fired for. But he was a great way to start. He broke me in well.
How much fun to do that as a friend, though, and maintain that friendship throughout as well.
Absolutely. I've said it many times, but if you're not, one of the players, but you're a fan of golf, I've got the best seat in the house.
Oh, yeah. So tell me what you expected it to be, because I'm sure you had some expectations, but what reality was.
I didn't know the detail that these guys go into. They're so good at what they do that any little piece of information can make the difference between being, one of the top 10 players in the world or winning one week and finishing 20th or 30th. Just the amount of detail they go into mapping a course out and figuring out how to play it really boggled my mind. Because I had played in high school and college and kind of thought, okay, well, there's the blue marker, so it must be about 200 yards. That's, a 4-iron, hit it.
Right.
But the amount of detail that actually goes into it and the effort they put into it was staggering to me.
Yeah. So tell them what your day is like. You get out there early in the morning, don't you?
Yeah, it depends on the day. I mean, if it's a practice round or a day that I'm just walking the course, I'll try and get out there early before most of the guys. But a typical tournament day, it can be anywhere from 5 or 6 hours to 8 or 9 if they're doing a lot of practicing. And you're just kind of doing what they need and trying to figure out what they need before they know it.
Yeah, I noticed there was a quote from you that you should be prepared for 5 questions they aren't going to ask, and somehow they never will ask any of them.
Absolutely, I try and have that every time Hunter's hitting a shot. So I'm not fumbling with the information. If he does ask it, I try and in my mind as I'm getting up to a shot, what's he going to need here? And usually I can boil that down to 1 or 2 things, which is all he'll need. But if he needs further reassurance, I'll always have 3 or 4 more things to back up what I think is the right play.
Yeah, this guy he's talking about that might need reassurance is a PGA Tour winner, Hunter Mahan, and you guys have become a great team.
I'm very lucky. He's great to work for. He's a great player. We started 8 years ago together at tour school. He had lost his card after his second year on tour, and that was our first week together, just to try it out, see how it went, and we really clicked, and we've been together ever since. It's been a great match.
Another thing you said is that other than a family, the PGA Tour caddy spends more time with the player than anyone else.
Absolutely,
right?
absolutely.
So you really do have to be close.
Yeah, you become very close. So when you're together as long as Hunter and I've been, or gosh, as Bones and Phil, who are going on 20 years, or Joe LaCava and Fred were together for 25, I think. You really become like brothers, like family out there, the good and the bad, you know, and it's great.
So the players talk, the caddies got to talk between one another, and oh yeah, my guy, not today. You don't want to talk to him today. I'm sure there's a lot of that going on as well.
Oh yeah,
huh?
The caddy stories are a lot better than the
player
stories. Yeah, absolutely. No, those are some fun times getting together and talking about good times, bad times, anything that happens. They're always very funny.
So what's the craziest thing you've seen out on tour?
The craziest thing I've seen, oh my gosh. There's a great story about a guy named Squirrel who used to caddy for Jeff Ogilvy. Great caddy, English guy, but sometimes not quite all there. I'll try and make this short, but there's a great story of the 10th hole at Riviera. The first 2 days they laid it up with a 4-iron off the tee, hit wedge in, made birdie. And the third day, they decided to go for it with driver. Jeff asked, what do you think here? And Squirrel said, I like driver. So they hit driver up there, chip here, a chip there, a bunker shot here, and 3 putts later, they walk off with double. So Jeff is furious. He's just wearing squirrel out, coming off the green. Why are we hitting driver there? That was just stupid there. What are we doing? And all of a sudden, bring, Squirrel's cell phone's going off from inside the bag. So they stop what they're doing. Squirrel, instead of just taking his bag and turning it off, taking his phone, turning it off, and putting it away, he answers it. He says, "Hello? Yeah, I can't talk right now. Yeah, I'm working. I'll call you later. Bye." And he puts it back, and Jeff says, Who the hell was that? Who's calling us right now? And he says, "That was my mom. She wanted to know why we hit driver on 10 today." Just broke up Jeff, relieved all attention, and off they went. So it's one of my favorite stories.
Yeah, well, a guy named Squirrel probably would be a little goofy.
Yeah.
Who's your best friend out there with the caddies?
I got a few of them. Bones, definitely one of them. Joe LaCava, probably my best two friends. I've got to know them really well over the years and their families. Paul Tesori works for Webb Simpson. I'm really good friends with him. Mark Cheney, who works for Bo Van Pelt. And John Burke, who right now is looking for a job, but he worked for Davis and Faxon for a long, long time. Those are probably my closest friends out there.
So you guys eating together and
yeah, it's like a traveling circus.
Right.
Yeah.
Bones and LaCava. So you're friends with the guys, the caddy for the two top players in the world.
Yeah,
huh?
Absolutely. Good guys to know.
Yeah. How do you get along with the caddies from the European players?
For the most part, pretty well.
Yeah. All doing the same job. Huh?
Yeah, exactly.
We all think we have these because of television. I guess we think we know everybody. We see them on television. We know their personality, and it's got to be kind of an eye opener for someone like you when you get up close and realize that's not really who they were.
Yeah, definitely. You learn some things with how guys, good and bad, how they treat people, how they treat volunteers, how they'll treat their caddy on maybe a shot that doesn't work out so well. You learn a lot about guys, but for the most part, most of the guys are just salt of the earth, pretty great guys that just happen to be great at golf.
Who's the greatest guy out there? Who you just? I
look at the pairing sheet and I love it. Stricker. Yeah. Stricker's about as good as it gets.
Yeah.
Nick Watney, I love to death. Those are two guys that if I look down and I'm paired with them, it's going to be a great day no matter what, because they're just great people to be around.
What's the one question that people come up to you and say, "Wow, you're a caddy. I got to know this. I got to know this about him."
There's a lot of them, but one of the good ones is that your real job? Is that all you do? It's like, well, no, I know you caddy, but what do you really do?
Yeah.
They see you carrying the bag and they think, well, he's just doing that this week. What's his real job? But that's probably the best.
Lugging that bag around, that's no lightweight job.
Believe it or not, it's probably the easiest part of the job.
Really?
Yeah, once you get used to it, it's just there. You don't even notice it.
So what's the toughest part of the job?
That's a good question. The toughest part of the job, when it's not going so well, and you're just trying to figure out ways, what's going to be the one thing? Is it something mechanical? Is it something emotional? Is it something, do I need to kick him in the butt or give him a pat on the back? What is it right now that's going to get him going? It's a great part of the job because it's interesting to figure out, but it's tough sometimes when you're not quite figuring out what's going to make your guy turn that switch and play like he can play.
I'm guessing reading all those psychology books at Tower Books is what prepared you for this.
100%, yes, sir.
I tell you, we could go on for hours. John, I appreciate you being here. Being a caddy on tour and being out there with all those personalities that we all know and we want to talk to, it's got to be a lot of fun.
It is. Like I said, best seat in the house.
Best seat in the house. John Wood.